You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming and something down to the Gaming Dragon. I just got up this morning and I am ready to bring y'all some content. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm saying you were up and let's go. God, this game is depressing as fuck. Alrighty. Let's see. 1 second, y'all. Alright. Cameron's frosty demeanor is completely gone. 10, 11, and room number 12. And wouldn't you know it, it's open. Ah, sweet. Thanks. I went to college. Now, I'll go in first to make sure everything's clear. Of what? I don't know. Squatters? Well, get ready to find a dead squatter because how the hell would they survive? Actually, you just reminded me that there are a couple of creeps that live here, like stubborn locals that won't leave. At least that's what a post said from the 2 years back. What? I don't like the sound of that. Are they dangerous? From what I gather, they're more of a get-off-my-lawn variety of creeps. Those creeps can still be dangerous. No one's been killed by them yet. I think we're good, but like I said, I'll look out for you. Dev looks at a mock growl. I'll make them permanent residents of Echo, and by that I mean dead ones. Heaven. Now Devon can tell the coyote really is upset. What's wrong, babe? You told me no one lived here. You said it a bunch of times. Cameron, it came up so few times on the forum and the posts I remember were really mundane. I honestly just forgot. Alright. Devon stares at the coyote, waiting, but doesn't say anything. Cameron, is there anything you want to tell me? If there is, I'm still hoping you'll be open like you said. I know! Hey, it's all good, man. It's not like I'm expecting you to just share everything on your mind now, but I'm here to listen if you want to talk. It's just hard to explain. I guess the fact that there are real people still living here does make it a little scarier. Does it have to do with the dreams you were having? Dev watches Cameron closely, but he does seem genuinely confused himself. Kind of, but they were weird. I don't think they really meant anything. Yeah, I'm just overreacting. I just really don't want to have the deliverance experience on top of the ghosts, you know? I getcha, and there's nothing wrong with being vigilant. My friend from Southland, though, went from town even more haunted than Echo. He says something horrific happened between a backpacker and an outback redneck every other year or so. How comforting. But while I was sort of joking earlier, if anyone tries anything, I will do what needs to be done to stop them. Dev doesn't tell Cameron that in that moment he kind of does wish he'd gone through with getting a gun for protection. If those men are still around, the bear has no doubt that they have plenty of guns. Well, let's not think about that because it's not going to happen. Unless they're squatting in that room. Not for long. Oh, I don't like that. Let's see, what's wrong with this room? Okay, that looks like bloody paw prints. I don't want to know what that stain is. Second now. Okay. The bear's exaggerated bravado becomes genuinely cautious as he opens the door. The room is hotter than it is outside, as if it were magnifying and trapping the heat. Okay, yeah, this is doable. Hey Cam, all clear. Ah, no murderous hillbillies in the... Oh, gross! What were you expecting? We just need to straighten it out a bit. Look, there's even a mattress over there. Wait, we're not going to use it for sleeping or anything, are we? Why do you think I brought sheets? Oh, I am not sleeping in. Kidding. Those are just to give us to cover up the disgusting places we might set. I already told you I have a room booked at Peyton. And we'd better use it no matter how into this you get. Of course, but we might as well make this place as comfortable as we can anyway. Cameron is quiet and Dev turns to see him staring at a plethora of rusty nails on the ground around the window and mattress. Your tetanus shot is up to date, right? That's a great question. Yeah, great. Just don't puncture yourself in anything. I'll try to clean up those at least, along with all those other sharp, rusty things on this floor. It looks okay now. Aside from all the peeling paint and the fucking blood on the wall. Yeah, it is blood. Cameron watches Dev step back, brushing his paws against each other loudly. Well, I'd say that's rather cozy, don't you think? I've seen actual homes that look worse, so yeah, I'd say so. Cameron eyes the couch and slowly sits on the edge, not quite trusting it despite the sheet. So, what do you know about paranormal investigation? You said you did research? It turns out you just run around with a flashlight and call the ghost a bitch. Good one. Damn, sorry, I didn't know the didn't know the reality show ghost hunts were such a sore spot for you. They single-handedly ruined the credibility of actual investigations. Well, they brought it more attention, right? Anyway, all I really know is what you do. EVP stuff, taking pictures, just sitting around and waiting, stuff like that. That's a start. Actually, I was thinking you deal with most of that stuff, so what I mainly researched had to do with those who are gifted. It's almost physically impossible for a coyote to use that word to describe people like him. Oh yeah, I wanted to say earlier how happy I was you looked through that forum. It must be annoying just hearing me go on about it when I don't even experience it. No, you're fine, Dev. Actually, Cameron much preferred to hear it from Dev. Half the people in the forums are clearly liars with a savior complex, and the other half were contacting these assholes to help communicate with a dead loved one. Cameron couldn't stomach it and just ended up looking at a blog that seemed a bit more legit. So, what did you find out? The way the bear is lit up now that they're talking about investigating reminds Cameron that he needs to at least try. Well, according to these psychics, it's pretty simple if you have the extra sense. First, approach the location with clear intentions. I'm here to see or hear something from the past. Second, keep an open mind, which is something I promised to do. And finally, if you sense that the presence is hostile, always remember that it can hurt you. In these cases, they might not actually have ever been a person. I wouldn't worry about demon shit. Even I have a hard time believing in that. Hey, there's something we can agree on. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume something terrible happened in this room. Nah, typical American hotel room. Yep, nothing creepy about that. Why else look for a specific room, right? I don't want you to tell me what happened, but I also assume this is a bit of a test. Well, I don't want to call it a test. I'm going to be recording and looking for the thing that happened in this room, too. Yeah, it's over there by the fucking wall. Just like you might want to see if you sense anything compared to what actually happened. I think that's a good idea. I'm just going to do some light touch sensing, I think they call it. So I won't see anything, but just sense what might have happened. But tell me if you feel things aren't right, of course. I'll be fine. Alright, I'll get started. We won't go super late tonight. Just want to get a feel for things. Sure, I'll get started by opening my mind and making my intentions clear. Okay, babe. I love you. Devon leans in and kisses Cameron on the head. Then Cameron watches as Dev turns off the lantern, plunging them into darkness. Lugging around equipment while trying to be quiet about it quickly gets Devon sweating through his shirt. He hadn't really thought about the heat, even when Cameron was complaining about it, but his shirt had been plastered to his fur and he had to take it off. He's making the extra effort not to disturb the coyote because Cameron seems to really be trying, his eyes closed and ears up. Devon didn't even need to ask him to take out his phone so he could record audio. He just did it, and to Devon, that just proves how much Cameron wants to do this. As Devon goes about testing his equipment, Cameron shifts and mumbles something. Dev perks up. Hey, hon, I'm right here. You alright? I need to get comfortable. At the same time, he adjusts himself so that his feet are on the suitcase in front of him. Okay. Something about Cameron's demeanor is bothering Devon. And Cameron's words were a little slurred. He does seem kind of not quite there. Should you pull him out of it? Devon had never seen a psychic in action before, so maybe this is normal, like a trance. He hopes it's normal, because even if Devon can find his answers, he'd give them up for Cameron to discover he isn't psychotic. As he's fiddling with his EMF sensor, dread suddenly clutches at his chest. What if the opposite happened and Cam really did lose his mind? Like when his mom got psychosis. If that happens, Devon is only now realizing that he would be responsible, and how could Cameron forgive him for that? There you know, Dr. Pepper time. How could he forgive himself? Shit! Dev hisses under his breath. What the fuck is he doing? Bringing his boyfriend to this room where that happened? He was usually alone or with friends when he was doing these investigations, and his want to see something always overpowered the fear. He just assumed Cam would be used to scary shit, especially after he described that flat-faced creature in a raincoat that he'd been seeing since he was a kid. He just assumed. Was it only now that he's realizing what the consequences can be? Well, it's because the things Cameron had told him by the lake had changed a lot of things in the bear's mind. This isn't something a loving partner does to another partner. He's fucking using Cameron for his own selfish reasons. Devon knows that the coyote has some kind of ESP abilities, but that didn't mean he didn't also have other issues that could fuck him up. He didn't mean that seeing these awful things wouldn't cause him to develop more severe issues. All the wind taken out of his sails, Devon stares at the ground, thinking. Then he gets up and paces for a bit, beginning to make up his mind, deciding that right after this they're done, no matter what. The bear looks at the closet, one where a wolf from the Mesa Tribal Council hung himself in the early 90s. If only he could see one thing, just one sliver of proof that she's okay on the other side. He'd be at peace with all this. Really, the biggest hurdle ahead of him is the embarrassment of ditching his plans and figuring out how to tell Cameron why. Dev lets out a shuddering sigh, standing in the closet, looking at the bar, wondering if it's the same one that the wolf used. Devon feels something. Not a good something. A chill runs up his spine, and suddenly he's shivering. No way. It's actually happening. Holy shit. Holy shit. That's all he can manage to say. It's happening, but it feels so wrong. And then a fear that he's never known before overtakes him. He wants to turn around. He wants to call out to Cameron, but it's like something is around his neck, holding him in place. And he hears a terrible sound behind him. Cameron knows something is happening for sure. It's scary, but at the same time, it's making him question what he'd always believed. Had Devon been right about this stuff? Had he just misunderstood himself for so long? He could sense someone, nothing like the monsters he'd seen in the past. Instead, this was a man in a suit and a bolo tie. He was sad, he was angry, and he was terrified. Cameron knew this was often what psychics describe when talking about sensing people from the past. You feel their most intense moment in life. This man, this wolf, he's going to do something terrible. And while Cameron is marveling over this, the wolf suddenly changes. At the same time, Cameron feels his focus turn to him. This gives him the coyote pause because now this presence was trying to interact with him. Is this right? Cameron thinks it could be, but something doesn't feel right about it. Like this isn't what he thinks it is. But he supposes anyone doing this for the first time would feel it to be strange. Maybe he was doing the light sensing wrong. The point is to listen to the past like a recording. This direct communication is scaring the coyote, but this could be his chance to answer Dev's question, and his own question for that matter. I'm sorry to bother you. What's after death? Where do we go? It feels stupid and clumsy, but it's all that comes to his mind, so Cameron asks it over and over. There's a long, empty pause. And then something like a cackle. It almost sounds fake, like a Halloween toy, but it's dark, mean, and it's making fun of him. All the feelings of wonder and hope for a breakthrough are deflated instantly. He needs Dev. He needs to open his eyes. Cameron's eyes are heavy, and he can barely focus. Something has gone terribly wrong. His presence is evil, malicious. This isn't a person. Now all the coyote can sense is that a profound tragedy has just taken place. He needs Devon, and he thinks he sees him as his vision begins to slowly focus. Oh shit. No fucking way! At first, Cameron doesn't understand what he's seeing. How is Devon standing like that? Why isn't he moving? He realizes why over the next few seconds. The natural way Dev's weight seems to pull up at his neck says it all. Cameron starts screaming, but it's weak, muffled, barely a wheeze from his throat, and he can't move. Paralysis. This isn't real. This is sleep paralysis, but something about this is so fucked, so real. He couldn't have fallen asleep. He's almost positive about that. But even if he had, his boyfriend could actually be hanging himself while the coyote sits uselessly on the couch. Terror begins to engulf him. How could this happen? Alright, I'm actually gonna pause it right there. I guess we will get to see what happens to him in the next video. I assume that he weighs too much for that bar to actually do anything. I think that bar would probably pop out of place. And he's too tall to actually hang himself in that small space, so he should be A-okay. Right as rain. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all I do for the channel. I greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Wolf Alpha. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if you want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our unsafe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.